All right, shalom, shalom, shalom. Kohaloyim, Wakabadla, Yahweh, wa Yahedwa, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Racha HaKodash, wa Mashana Kabawadim, Lahashala Yakim, Zaquanium, Shagadara, Wakab, wa Shalom, Labakoyim, Shah Yasharala, Anya Akyaka, Ya'aw, Yahweh Bashim, Yahusharatazah, Atam Lamad. All right. Yahweh is the true name of the Heavenly Father, not Yahweh, not Jehovah, not God, Allah, Yahuwah, okay, etc. His true name is Yahweh, okay? The Heavenly Father, that's his name, in his tongue, in his language, which is ancient Paleo Hebrew. That's the pure language, the holy tongue, otherwise known as the Lashon Kodash, that language that you heard me speaking in the intro of this lesson, okay? Yah meaning he, Hawa, or Hawa, right? Meaning to be present, is, exists, to be. Okay, Yahweh, he is, he exists. Okay, that's what the Heavenly Father's name means. Yahweh Shai is the true name of the only begotten Son. That's why he said his Father's name is in his name, because it literally is. Okay, Yah meaning he, Hawashai meaning deliverer. Okay, not Jesus Christ, not Yahusha, not Yeshaya. All right, not Yeshua, Yehoshua, Joshua. All right, all these other false names, not Christ. His true name is Yahweh Shai. Always has been, always will be. That's his name in the language that he actively speaks. Once again, that's ancient Hebrew. Okay, and double honors to the elder apostles, a great millstone that rule well, the teacher that taught me this truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the elect of the nation of Israel, which consists of you so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native American and Seminole Indians, according to the seed line of your fathers, as well as a healthy shalom to you Israelite foreigners that may look like the other nations that were scattered across the four corners of the earth, according to the curses that were placed upon the Israelites for breaking that first covenant with the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, that believe on this word and faith through Yahweh Shai have been brought back to the adoption of being Israelites once again, man, and according to that seed of promise. Okay, I'm your brother Yaal, and Lord willing, this is edifying, man. It's gonna be real quick, plantation break lesson. You know what I mean? And through the spirit, I taught this. The prophets warned you about the least of the flock, man. All right. And what am I referring to when I say the least of the flock? All right. Let's go to matter of fact, I'm gonna go to Jeremiah, the 49th chapter. This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 49, verse 20. Therefore, hear the counsel of the Lord Yahweh, Bahashem Yahweh Shai. Bahashem means in the name, that he taketh against Edom. Who's Edom today? Edom, all right, comes from Esau, the older twin brother of Jacob, who had his name changed to Israel or Yashar Allah. He's the prince of power. That's our forefather. Okay, Edom or Esau is who rules the earth right now. They're the devil that the Bible talks about. All right, and they're also the wicked that the Bible talks about. And this prophecy, speaking of against Babylon, all right, is not talking about ancient Neo Babylon. All right, it's talking about a new Babylon, which is Babylon the Great, according to the scriptures, right? In the book of Revelation. Babylon the Great is talking about the United States of America today, man. Okay. So when it says here the counsel that he have taken against Edom, all right, the new land of Edom is Babylon the Great, okay, which is the United States of America. So here the counsel, here the purpose and the plan that the Heavenly Father has against America, okay, that's pretty much what it applies to. And his purposes that he have purposed against the inhabitants of Teman. Teman was a capital chief city of the land of Edom in the ancient world. Okay, I wanna just wonder what the name means. Uh, Thayamun goes into south. Let me go to the root word. South. Proper locative noun. The region occupied by the descendants of one located east of Idumea. And Idumea is the Greek way of saying Edom. All right, so just, proving that. Surely the least of the flock shall draw them out. Surely he shall make their habitations desolate with them. The habitations, being where Esau dwells. Okay, and the stronghold of Esau, Edom, is the United States of America. The Heavenly Father is going to utterly and completely destroy it. Now, Babylon the Great, America, had a so-called peace agreement with Iran, which are known as the Carmenians and the Persians in the scriptures. you know. So they had a peace agreement, and people were like, okay, peace, cool. And then Israel, all right, the least of the flock is talking about the state of Israel, man, the so-called small hat, which are, they're Edomites. The vast majority of them are Edomites. But that specific tribe of Edomites they're known as Amalek, which is the chief tribe of the Edomites, man. Okay. In the book of Numbers, I believe, Moses prophesied and said that Amalek is chief of the nations. Matter of fact, I'm gonna just get it real quick. That is not what I want. Amalek. I think it's Numbers 24:20. And when he looked on Amalek, he took up his parable, and said, Amalek was the first of the nations, but his latter end shall be that he perish forever. And right now, Amalek is the first of the nations. The small hats, so-called Jewish man. All right, they're the top of all the nations. All right, and we don't even gotta explain how they are, because you can look around and see how they are. Okay, they're on top of all nations, man. Okay, which proves they're not the Israelites, because during the time where the Messiah would return to the earth, he would return to deliver Israel, because their Israel be at the bottom of all nations. Okay, continuing on, uh, uh, the earth is moved at the noise of their fall, at the cry, the noise thereof was heard in the Red Sea, man. All right, that's when the Heavenly Father destroys America, as well as the state of Israel, man, by thermonuclear fire. Except Israel, the land is gonna get built back up in righteousness. All right, America is never gonna be inhabited again, man. It's gonna be a valley of devils. Desert creatures are gonna live there. Okay, and part of the peace deal that Babylon the Great, America, had with Iran is that, they would stop dropping, bombs on Lebanon. And Israel, of course, doesn't want the war to stop and end against Iran. So they broke the peace treaty. And they explicitly, are setting the nations against America, because America is not going to turn their back on Israel for prophecy's sake. All right. The chief tribe of Esau, which is Amalek, are going to drive America to defend them constantly over and over, for the rest of the world to come against both Esau, both against the state of Israel, the small hats, and the rest of Esau, America. And Esau is divided against itself. You got Edomites in America who don't want to defend, the small hats. And then you have some that do. And Yahushua said that a house divided against itself cannot stand, you know? So America is divided in itself, and then America's divided on support for the small hats, as well as Esau itself is just divided, man. Esau, in Europe, Esau in Babylon the Great, and Esau in the state of Israel are all pushing. They all have different goals, and the small hats are willing to destroy everybody else with them for the sake of getting what they want. And if they can't get what they want, they're willing to, go scorched earth, which is the Heavenly Father putting that spirit on them. Okay, that same devilish base man spirit. Okay, and America's gonna keep defending and supporting Israel, and nations are gonna look at America as if they're complicit in Israel's crimes, because they are. And all these things were written, in the scriptures as prophecy before they came to pass, and we were telling you of them. Okay. As a matter of fact, real quick, because the Heavenly Father put the Spirit on His prophets, on His men. All right, which we believe by faith are starting with the elder apostles of Great Millstone, as well as the likewise like-minded brothers that teach the same word and truth and sincerity, man. All right, Isaiah 42:9. I'm gonna start at 8. I am the Lord Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. That is my name. The Heavenly Father's name is Yahweh, and we call upon Him in the name of His only begotten Son, Yahweh Shai. And my glory will I not give to another, neither my praise to graven images. All right, so all these things that are coming to pass, the prophets are telling you who is doing them. And it's Yahweh, the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai. Okay, behold, the former things are come to pass, and new things do I declare. before they spring forth. I tell you of them. And how does he tell you of them? Through the prophets, using his mouth, man. Okay. I'll get a quick precept. We're gonna close out soon because I gotta go. Hosea chapter 6, verse 5. Therefore have I hewed them by the prophets. I have slain them by the words of my mouth. Which goes to show you that the prophets are the mouth of the Heavenly Father, Yahweh, Bashem Yahweh Shai. The Heavenly Father speaks to his people through the prophets, like he always has. Okay? Just real quick, gonna get that. Because the things that are written aforetime written for our learning, and there's no new thing under the sun. Hebrews 1 and 1, the Most High, Yahweh, who at sundry times and times of old, in diverse manners, spake in time past unto the fathers by the prophets. And those same prophets are back today, man, doing the same thing, speaking to Jake, telling the words of prophecy. Second Ezra 15, 1 through 4. We're speaking to the people, you know, the words of prophecy, Salakia. Yeah, man. So this excursion with Babylon the Great, Iran, and is gonna draw in the rest of the world, man, for World War III, man. And Israel is gonna be the cause of it because the Heavenly Father's putting the Spirit on them to do it. All right. It's just gonna be a real quick prophecy, edification, Lord willing, exhortation. You were edified. In closing, I want to give all praises, honor, and glory to the Heavenly Father, to His only begotten Son, Yahweh, Bahasham, Yahweh Shai, Bahasham, Rachahakwadash. Ex double honors to elder apostles and bishops of Great Millstone, a rule by the teacher by taught me the truth. Peace, blessings, and salutations to the whole elect of the nation of Israel. Shalom as well to you elders and brethren across four corners of the earth pushing this truth. All right. Regards, people here for bear. Keep pushing, keep believing, keep the faith. Shalom as well to you, hopeful like Akima Akiwa, brothers and sisters that believe on this word and fatherland whithersoever he goes. Shalom to the elect.